The identity of the Croydon Cat Killer is one of the biggest mysteries of recent years. Hundreds of cats across England have been dismembered and decapitated in a series of grisly killings that began in Croydon, South London. Reports of cat deaths in Croydon began in 2014, and the South Norwood Animal Rescue in Liberty, Snarl, reported incidents of cat mutilation to the police in October 2015. Snarl now believes the killings to go back as far as 2010, after they were approached by families about deadly attacks on pets up to 3 years before. By November 2015, the Metropolitan Police launched an official investigation into the killings under the name Takahi and led by Detective Sergeant Andy Collin. The RSPCA said in 2016 that many of the deaths were the result of blunt force trauma, which Snarl claims is a result of the animal being thrown against walls. Some cats had also been disemboweled or cut in half. Police reportedly had not found any evidence that the animals were deliberately killed by humans. The RSPCA has taken many cats to the vet surgery for autopsies, and in 2016, the doctor stated that he found raw chicken in the stomachs of several killed cats, suggesting that they had possibly been lured to their deaths with the offer of meat. Tony Jerkins from Snarl told the BBC he believed that the animals were killed elsewhere and brought to the scene due to the absence of blood. While the majority of dead animals were cats, other animals were also apparently victims of the Croydon Cat Killer. Rabbits were also found dead and mutilated, while Snarl reported a fox head left in the car park of a Tesco in Caterham, a claim that could not be confirmed by a spokesman for the supermarket. The deaths of 10 cats across London have been linked by a veterinarian surgeon, while police said at the time the numbers of cases were still in the single digits. By April 2016, Snarl had recorded 50 attacks, North, South, and East London, in Guildford and Surrey. The figure leapt to 100 in June of the same year, and it is believed the Croydon Cat Killer is responsible for the deaths of more than 400 cats across England, although the police believe there is a possibility of a copycat killer. Reports of mutilated cats spread outside the boundaries of the capital, leading to the individual renamed the M25 Cat Killer. However, attacks were soon reported as far north as Manchester, leading the individual to be renamed once again as the UK Cat Killer. Chief Inspector Michael Butcher of RSPCA Special Operations Unit, working closely with the police, has examined cases in a 117-mile radius of the M25. 30 to 40 suspects were narrowed down to 2 possible suspect sightings. Snarl claimed the Surrey police described the alleged killer as a white man in his 40s with facial scars, dark clothes, and short brown hair, who may be wearing a headlamp or carrying a torch. Possible motive: DC Collins said in 2017, the killer may be motivated by a vendetta against women, as cats are associated with the feminine. He added, the killer can't deal with a woman or women who are troubling him. Forensic psychologist Dr. Comey McKenna describes the perpetrator as someone deeply disturbed and has developed a hostility to something being nurtured and cared for. Psychics agree it is actually a personal attack against humans, in this case pet owners. While psychics disagree on the age of the perpetrator, they are in agreement it is a single male. He is an opportunist killer who enjoys trespassing on other people's property. The attacks release some sort of emotional pain, and they will not stop. He will strike again. One possible suspect in Caterham, fitting the description, was chased by locals but lost. A reward has been offered by PETA of £5,000 and Outpace £5,000 for the total award is £10,000. For any information, hashtag UK Animal Killer, hashtag End This Now. Tony Jenkins of Snarl, the animal rescue organization working with the Metropolitan Police investigation, states that this has taken over his life amidst the daily reports he receives. Anne, a pet owner, found her cat Amber dead in a neighbor's back garden last summer and told Sky News. She still cries over the loss of her cat and is worried about the killer and what he's doing to other cats. And is he doing it tonight? Another cat owner stated, "I'll do it to him with a knife." D.C. Collins told Sky there is a known link between serial killers and animals when you look into their dark history. If you look at offending patterns, the assumption is the killer is getting some sort of gratification. The concern is they will cease getting that and escalate the attack to humans, specifically vulnerable women and girls. Scotland Yard said its 3 years investigation, seen dozens of slain animals examined, has concluded humans are unlikely to have been responsible for the killings. Police believe the cats were likely hit and killed by cars and scavenging foxes, then mutilated body parts, especially the head and tail. Stephen Harris, a retired professor of environmental sciences at the University of Bristol, who studied the behavior of foxes for 50 years, has asserted in July this year that there may not be a killer. He wrote in The New Scientist, "The pattern of blunt force trauma, followed by removal for the head and the tail, was consistent with road traffic accidents and then scavenged by foxes." Metropolitan Police have now closed their investigation and concluded that foxes are indeed to blame. In a statement, the Met said, "Following a thorough examination of the available evidence, officers working alongside experts have concluded that hundreds of reported cat mutilations in Croydon and elsewhere were not carried out by a human and are likely to be the result of a predation or scavenging by wildlife." I am not the Pink Panther. I am not privy to the Scotland Yard and the Metropolitan Police investigation. However, I have my own theory to add. Veterinary surgeons that have done the forensic autopsies of many pets brought in the investigation by Tony Jenkins and Snarls say that the cats are mutilated by a sharp object, like a knife, before a scavenger could have got to them. To me, my theory, I grew up in the country. We had lots of pets. Cats in particular loved to rest in a place warm, hence the windowsill in the sun, or the clothes dryer, and the hood or bonnet of cars. Sometimes they would crawl up and into the warm engine area and fall asleep. When the engine starts, the radiator fan or cooling fan cut up the cats. My mom had the habit of, if we didn't see the cat before getting in the car, honking the horn once before starting the engine. I can remember in particular one cat, the Princess, having been cut by the fan and her stomach being horribly mutilated. Also, the road I grew up on, riding my bike on. No child could ever ride on that now. I lived in a house that, well, like a decade ago. And I had cats that had to stay indoors because they would be hit by a car in 1, 2, 6 months tops. There's more traffic on the roads now than ever. The world has changed, and suburbia has become very cramped. That's my story. If you like, compliment. If you love, subscribe, and don't forget to take hostages.